one of the vice chairs for the Arizona Democratic Party. I'm not the leader for the Democratic Party. I'm not the chair, but I'm one of 6 vice chairs for the Democratic Party.
And thank goodness, because the Democratic Party, really across the country, all these Democratic parties need tremendous reform. And to have progressives come in, I mean, it doesn't happen without a fight. Sometimes they're not paying attention, but it really does take a massive effort to get folks in that really understand the dynamics of what's at play for working people.
I completely agree.
So, Brianna, I want to talk a little bit about Arizona. I've mentioned it. We've had a few segments on Arizona and Pennsylvania and some of these swing states. But there is a ton of money pouring into Arizona right now. And in 2000, I think last time I worked in Arizona was 2006 or so on elections. Maybe I'm wrong by a couple of years. But there was a time, 2006 was that year, when Arizona did go blue. There was a Democratic governor. There were several members of Congress elected in swing districts, and pretty much those districts have remained Democratic for the most part. Yet we still treat Arizona, and we have been treating Arizona in the last 15 years, like it's a hard right, crazy Republican conspiracy land. And I think, I mean, from my perspective, as a lot of these other states, the Democrats just took their eye off of state parties and organizing. And I mean, thank God there's someone like you now in leadership. But how do you feel like the excitement, the energy, like how do you think, I mean, it's at play now, but what does that mean? How is it different than previous elections?
Well, I think it's really exciting because we're now a battleground state for like the first time in a long time, according to a lot of political analysis. 2020 is going to be like the best year I think we have to flip the state blue and elect 2 Democratic senators. It's important for a lot of reasons. One, because if we turn blue and we send another senator to Washington D.C. from Arizona that's Democratic, and we take back the majority, we have the ability to help push legislation through the Senate, like that Senator Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or a progressive introduces. It gives us extra votes, and we have the ability to pass some of this big, bold, progressive legislation that we so desperately need.
In terms of just like how the voting has shifted, I mean, it's a growing state. Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the country. It's the largest city in Arizona. Where are these new voters coming from? Like, how is the voting shifting?
They're coming from everywhere. Hundreds of new people move to the city of Phoenix every single day. Maricopa County is one of the fastest growing counties in the entire United States. It is 64% of the Arizona electorate. We have a very large Latino community out here. Experts and numbers show like 1.4 million eligible Latino voters. This
put
cycle,
that in context,
which is
like
amazing.
How big is that compared to the voting population, percentage-wise?
It's huge. I don't know a specific number as far as like percentage, as far as what that translates to, as far as like Democrats, Republicans, Independents. But we're pretty split for the most part in regards to political affiliation, as far as registered voters, Republicans and Democrats. We have a really large independent, we call them other out here, party affiliation.
And how does the independent vote, the other party affiliation? I mean, there's a sense in certain states that they lean a little bit. There's no such thing as like a nonpartisan voter, right? They lean one way or another. Traditionally, they lean one way or another, and ideologically, they lean one way or another. Is there a sense of where their leaning is?
Well, this is one of those things I think is not. They say that the majority of these independent other voters are right-leaning, but I feel that is misconstrued because for a long time, like you briefly touched on prior to this, is Arizona was pretty much forgotten. Like nobody really did much work here. Speaking to like my race, for example, I ran for Congress in 2018 in Arizona's 8th congressional district. It's one of the second reddest districts in the state of Arizona. I bring that up because when you look at the data and the partisan score in VAN, which is the tool that we use to get out the vote, a lot of these independent voters show that they're more leaning to right causes. But that's misconstrued because for a long time, there has been no candidates running in a lot of these districts, so people don't have an option to vote for anybody else. So it, I think, manipulates the data because we didn't compete everywhere, and nobody had options to vote for a Democrat, which I'm very excited about this year because Maricopa County in particular, we have somebody running for every position on county-wide seats for the first time in a really, really long time. We have people running for, we have a great candidate running for county assessor. We have a great candidate running for treasurer. Like we have somebody for every position on the ballot in Maricopa County, and it's really historic.
I mean, so a lot of that, okay, last 15 years, but really during the Obama administration, Democrats, the money was pulled away from state parties and centralized towards the DNC in Washington and moving Obama's OFA program into like merging the DNC and the OFA program. Just a little recap on like how the money was spent. And now folks are thinking and acting locally, which is amazing that if there's one good thing that came out of Trump getting elected, it's that folks feel like they need to step up and get involved in their communities because, you know, they're paying more attention to what's not getting passed locally or oh my God, I'm like voting, there's only a Republican on the ballot and I don't want to vote for this person. It's uncontested. You know, there's an awakening happening. With that being said, like you're in the party, you're in the Arizona party. Or is there more help actually coming from the party itself at the state level? Or enough to actually facilitate and recruit and train candidates? Or are these just people who are like, I'm running, and that's why every seat is being challenged?
Well, I think a lot of our county parties are stepping up to really help out. Like Maricopa County Democrats, for example, like I said, largest county in Arizona. You know, they've created different working committees for specific get out the vote efforts, specific community outreach. Like we have a Black committee, we have a Latinx committee, we have a Young Democrats. Like we are trying to connect with all of these different important electorates that we have to turn out in this election. And while we're doing that work, we're also inspiring people, I think, to run for office. And I think that also is one of these pieces to the puzzle for expanding the electorate and growing the Arizona Democratic Party.
Thanks for watching and listening to The Nomiki Show. But remember to click like and subscribe on YouTube and please share on social media. If you're not already a patron, please join us for as low as $5 a month on patreon.com/The Nomiki Show for early and special content. That investment makes a huge difference. We are not corporate media raking in the dough. It's really you guys that are keeping us going. So please consider being a patron. And to our current patrons, thank you so much. We are incredibly grateful to you. We also now have swag. So check us out on thenomikishow.com to get your mugs, your totes, and your stickers.